Howdy everyone, and welcome back to this tutorial series. In the previous videos, we managed to fetch the company, the job details, and display them in a very styled and modern looking details page like this. And in this video, what we want to do is to be able to, from a particular job, get to the company that created the job, see the company profile, and see the other jobs provided by that company. But as you can see here, when I click, I get a 404 error. The URL is correct. We have a company and then the slug of the company, but obviously we are getting a 404. Well, the reason is very simple. We have nowhere told Next.js that we needed such a page. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create that page. Make the cursive pages, okay, pages and then company. And just like we did for the jobs, we want to add a slug page there. So I'm going to create a page here with a dynamic page, okay, and I'm gonna scaffold that page. Very good. I'm gonna call it company details page. Company details page. Okay, call it that. And if I go ready like this, you see it's different. It's now it's working. Okay, and the problem still is that every URL you pass in is going to work, right? It's going to be successful and so on. And secondly, you know that we like to keep things very modular. So let's create also a details page here, just like we did for the jobs. Let's call it company details. Let's call it that. Okay, and let's scaffold that as well. Good. And let's import it here from the company details page. Okay, import company details. Very good. And let's use it here like this. Oops. Very good. So if I refresh here, you see now we're using our component, but still the links are not necessarily matching an actual job that exists in a database. Okay, so what we're going to do for that, obviously just like we did for the job, we need the get static paths and the get static props. Okay, so yeah, in order to create the get static paths, just like we did for the jobs, we need to get the slugs, the company slugs, and this brings me to the point. Yeah, this points me to the fact that we probably need to rename this function to get job slugs, because jobs are not the only entities that have slugs. So let's do that now. Let's rename this to get jobs slugs. Okay, and let's use it here appropriately. And appropriately here as well. Very good. Let's refresh this. This will work. If I go to the home page, everything should still be working fine normally. All right, everything's still working okay. Very good. Okay, so we are going to create a very similar function, okay, for the company to get both the slugs of the company and the company by a slug. So let's copy this function here. Okay, and we're going to go to our data layer in the company. Very good. And we're going to get company by slugs. Companies by slugs. No, sorry, get company slugs. That's the first thing we wanted to get. So here I'm going to pass in company. Very good. Okay. And we're going to use this in the company here. So I'm going to import this, get companies slugs. Very good. And we're going to use that in the get static paths. Just get static paths. Very good. Await const slugs, all the slugs that are available for companies. Get companies slugs. Obviously we want to return the path. Okay, paths equals to slugs.map. Okay, slug. And then we want to return the params. Okay, params, and then for each one just the slug is necessary, and then I can remove this here, and then there we have it. Now what's missing? Well, the get static props, because each time you have a get static path you need a get static props, otherwise it's just going to fail, and it does. All right, so let's create a get static props. Close the terminal. Next.js get static props. Very good. It's going to take as input the structured slug, or not the structured params. Oops, params, right? And inside, I'm going to get the slug, get params, slug. Well, exactly. Well, the first thing you want to get is get const. We want to get the company, right? We need a way to get the company from the slug. So we're going to create probably a function called get company by slug. We're going to create this function, and to that function we're going to pass in a slug. And that's not all. When we are displaying on this page, we not only need to display the company, but we also need to display the jobs of that company. So I'm going to say also const company jobs, okay? Const company jobs. And what I'm going to do, I'm forgetting the await here. It's to forget. Await get jobs by company ID, right? We can also pass in the slug, but it's faster with the ID because the ID is the ID, right? And then we're going to return the company here like this. Oops, company and company jobs. Very good. Now let's implement these two functions in our data layer. So the first thing obviously is to get the company by slug. So export const company get company by slug async. We pass in the slug that we have. Okay, what do we do? Well, just like we did for the jobs, well, actually we can simply copy what we have here and do the same thing. Okay, so what we have here, instead of job, we pass in company. Very good. Remember why we need this? Well, it's because we need to retrieve like nested fields, right? And here, instead of job, we call it company, right? And instead of using the job reducer, we need to use the company reducer, and we can import that. We have it in the utils. So company reducer utils, and we use it here like this and return company. Very good. Now one last function to implement is the get jobs by company ID. Let's implement that, and it's a function that is related to jobs, so it needs to be in this function. So export const get jobs by company ID. Very good. Async. We pass in the ID of that company in question, and what we do is very simple. Const result equals to await client get entries. Okay, get entries. I'm gonna pass in content type job. Very good. And as like the video says, this is where we fetch a nested. This is where we retrieve a nested attribute. We make a nested query in Contentful. Fields, company, sys, ID, and that's how we do a nested query. So if you were doing like get jobs by company slug, this will have been the slug attribute, and here we'll have added fields, and here we'll have added slug. But it's faster with the ID because it's just the primary key in the table, so it's faster this way. And then once you have that, the rest, well, we still add that include because otherwise we can't retrieve nested attributes. So we're going to add the include like this. Okay, and once we have that, well, we're going to pass them same as what we did earlier. So the row jobs equals to res.items. Okay, now what we do is exactly what we did here in the get jobs. I'm just going to copy this like this whole thing. Okay, now this like this, and we are very good to go. Very good to go. Okay, so this should normally work now. So if all I need to do is to import these functions here, because remember we are not importing them yet. Okay, so I'm going to import them. Import get company by get companies company by slug. That's the first thing. And import get jobs by company ID. Very good, right? Now we are passing those attributes, the jobs and the company, like this to this function. Very good. Now let's console log this and make sure that everything is working okay. So you're going to pass it down to this attribute like this. Very good. And oops, company jobs like this. Very good. And let's console log. Let's go to the company details and make sure that we are retrieving this successfully like this. Okay. And let's do a log, console log, and let's see what's happening. All right. So let me refresh like this. ID is not defined. ID is not defined. Very good. Let's see. ID is not defined. Oh yeah, absolutely. We need to give it like this, company.id. Very good. Let's refresh. Excellent. Let's look at what we have in the console logs. Now we have two objects. Company, all right, you see, and the company jobs. Well, fantastic. Everything is working fine. Everything is working brilliant, right? So we are able to get the company and the company jobs. Excellent. But I've noticed that, and I'm sure you noticed that too, we are breaking one of our core guiding, our core principle, which is we have Contentful here. The page is very aware of the fact that we are using Contentful, so that's probably not a good thing. We want to solve that, right? So the way we solve that is by simply making sure that in our data layer we have exports here. So we are going to export every job, every function that we need. Get jobs by Slug, get jobs by companies. Yes, these are the ones that we need, and we also need to return get job. Yeah, I think these are the ones. Get job by Slug, get jobs slugs. All right, and finally here for this one we need to return get companies slugs and get company by slug. Right, these are the functions that we need to return from here, and this will give us the freedom to import these things both here both in the job page and the company page right from the data layer. So we don't need to tell that we're using Contentful anymore. Same thing here. We don't need to tell that we're using Contentful. It's just going to work, right? So I'm going to put it here. Oops, sec. Like this. Just going to fix this imports to hide. To make it clean. Components should not be aware that we're using Contentful whatsoever, and it should still be working fine. Very good. All right, so if I go to the home page, everything should still be working fine. Okay, you see, everything should be working brilliantly. Excellent. Okay, and that's it. So we have solved the problem of our imports that were getting a bit unclean, and that brings us to the end of this tutorial, where we were able to do the main thing that we did in this tutorial that I want you to go home with is how to do nested queries, right? So we are doing a nested query here like this: fields, company, sys ID, and we are able to do a nested query in Contentful. So that's it for this video. I see you in the next one, and thank you for watching. Appreciate that. Bye.